Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about process and its states. So process is basically a program in execution. Okay, so suppose we are writing a C++ program, you will write the set of instruction and you will compile it and it will generate the executable file which will be stored on a disk. So a program is basically a file containing list of instruction which you have stored on a disk. But if you run that executable file, that executable file will be loaded into main memory and hence it will become a process. So a program becomes a process when an executable file is loaded into main memory. That is the difference between process and a program. And when program is loaded into main memory, it is divided into four sections: stack, heap, data, and text. In stack, we store the all the local, the function parameters, the return addresses in stack, and then local variables. And then heap is a section of memory which is dynamically allocated to a process. Data section contains the global variables and the static variables, and then the text contains the program counter and all the processor, the system's register basically. Okay, so and what is a program counter? Program counter basically points to stores the address of the next instruction to be executed, because as we know, if a process is executing, it executes the instruction in a sequential manner. So which instruction should be executed next? It is indicated by your basically your program counters tells which instruction to execute next. Okay, so that is your process. And when a process is executing, it changes its states. It goes through various states, and these are known, and there are 5 states. Let's have a look at them. So the states are new, ready, running, terminated, and waiting. New state is when a process is being created. It is not created, it is being created. Then the state is new. When the process is created and it is loaded into main memory, it is in ready state. So ready state means the process is ready for execution. It is just waiting for the processor. Okay, and if a process which is in ready state is allocated as the processor, it is in running state now, because that processor will run the instructions one by one of that process. So hence that process moves to the running state. Now while running, so if the process is running and the process has finished its execution, it will go to the terminated state, and hence the process will be removed from the main memory. Okay, so this is the simplest flow that a process can follow: new, ready, running, and terminated. But that's not the case always. Suppose if the process is running, if you have a process P1, it is running right now, and while running, it requires some input output devices. Let's say it wants to take input from user. So that process will have to wait for that IO service to complete first. So hence it will move to the waiting state. Waiting state means the process is waiting for some event to occur, such as IO completion signal. It is waiting for some IO completion signal or some reception of a signal, etc. Okay. So let's say if a process P1 requires some input from the user, so it will go to the waiting state and it will wait for that service to complete first. And since that process P1 is in ready waiting state now, and the CPU is the processor is idle right now, and that we don't really generally do, the processor should be busy all the time, right? So the next process which is ready will be allocated the CPU, and it will be running. Let's say a P2 process is also there, which is ready and it is waiting for the processor. So that P2 process will be allocated the CPU and it will start running. Meanwhile, P1 will be waiting for the IO completion. And if the P1 receives the signal for IO completion, it will again go to the ready state, because now it is ready for execution again. So it will again wait for the processor. Okay, and then suppose now if this P2 process is running, and while running there some interrupt occurs, let's say some higher priority process comes. So this P2 process will now go to the ready state, and that higher priority process will be allocated the CPU. Okay, so you can go like a process can go from running to ready state in case of when an interrupt occurs. So that's about your process states and how you can go from one state to another. So basically new state is when your process is just being created, and when it is loaded in main memory, that process becomes ready for execution, hence it is in ready state, which means that the process is just waiting for the processor. And if the processor is assigned the processor, so it is in running state because that processor will start start executing the instructions. And if the process has finished its execution, it will move to the terminated state. And if the processor is if the process is waiting, like suppose for some event to occur, this IO completion or other signal, it will move to the waiting state. And once it has received that signal from waiting, again it is ready for execution, so it will go to the ready state. Okay, now if we have a look at these states, so basically only one process can be running on any processor at any instant, right? We have discussed this, that a processor can execute only one process at a time. So only one process can be running on any processor at a time, but there can be multiple processes which are ready because you can load multiple processes in main memory. So there can be multiple processes which are ready and they are waiting for the processor, and there can be multiple processes waiting for some event to complete. Okay, so there can be multiple process in ready state and waiting state, but only one process can be running on any processor at any instant of time. So that's all about this process and process states. I hope this topic is clear to you. If you have any queries, please drop them in the comment section. Thank you.